Welcome to the Talk Sox podcast. I'm Alex, and as always, I'm here with Maddie. What's going on?
Doing well. Finally catching up on some TV shows now without baseball tonight.
Yeah, I was able to get through most of the most recent episode of Section 10 today. It's thanks to like my prep period and cooking and stuff. And usually it's like a thing that I have to listen to throughout the whole series because they're usually 2.5, 3 hours long. So,
Yeah. That's
but
the one thing about Section 10 that I can't force myself to listen to it because the episodes are so long. And I listen
yeah,
to things at like 2 times speed, but even then, like that's an
yeah,
hour.
it, I guess I've grown to love it with them. I've been on the Section 10 train since 2017, 2018. So they've progressively gotten longer, and now that there's four hosts instead of three. For as much as Steve wants it to be a clean 40, it usually ends up at least 2.5 hours twice a week. Which kudos to them. I mean, I know they're not everybody's cup of tea, but to be able to talk about the Sox and baseball and just really everything. And I mean, they have a ton of bits and stuff too, but Carabas himself, he does 2 episodes of Section 10, 2 episodes of Baseball is Dead. He does the Baseball Hour on WEEI. He's on MLB Network half the time now. Like the guy is just an absolute workhorse.
Well, yeah, I don't follow him that much, but I saw this one quote from him that said like he never leaves his home, and from everything you listed, yeah, it kind of
Yeah,
sounds like it.
yeah. He is. I mean, he's kind of the guy that I guess we're all slightly patterned after. He took being a fan and turned it into a legitimate career at this point. Whether you like him or not, you got to admit that the guy he's doing it, and he is a
Yeah.
professional baseball fan, and I think that's the dream that all of us have.
Yeah, I have to respect the hustle, even if
Yeah,
he's not my cup of tea.
yeah. Um, it was really interesting this episode because we're coming off a series win over the Guardians, even though that last game was just absolutely miserable. I think I turned it
Yeah.
off in the third. And that's not usually me. I'll usually watch a blowout loss even, but I was like, I don't think I can stomach this. Once Hicks came in, I was like, yeah, I think we're
Oh,
done.
you know the game is a wash when Jordan Hicks comes in.
And he came in the first inning. So
Yeah, I know. I think, like, by, like, the 4th inning, I said, "It's time to switch to Modern Family."
yeah. Oh, that's a good choice. I love that show. Um,
I also realized, like, right after I switched to the show, Dustin May looked like some, like, character on a TV show, and I couldn't quite place my finger on it, and then I realized, "Oh my god, it's Mitchell from Modern Family." Like, the
he does.
gingers, like, no
Yeah.
eyebrows, like, kind
Yeah.
of, like, stuck not, like, stuck up. Well, May's emotional, I feel bad for him.
Emotional. Let's say emotional. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
high
never
strung.
seen yes. I've never seen anybody, and Dustin May's not even on the sidebar, but here we go. I've never seen anybody react to no doubt homers the way that Dustin May reacts to no doubt homers. The
Just
the guy has energy, but man, none of it is put into baseball.
Ju just the overblown reactions. Maybe he's part Italian, who knows?
Right. It's so crazy. When the Mookie Betts trade happened, I wanted Dustin May to be part of that trade.
Hmm.
I mean, he was an absolute flamethrower in 20. This was obviously before the Tommy John and before all the other injuries where he tore his esophagus eating salad. That's maybe the weirdest baseball injury of all time. Um, it was before all of that, but I wanted him so badly to be part of that deal. And you can't even play like a game of like what would have been had he been part of that deal. Um, but I think it's safe to say that the rule for at least the Boston Red Sox should be if the Dodgers are willing to trade this player, maybe don't trade for him.
Yeah. That's a good point. I read somewhere that Will Smith was originally included in one of the Mookie Betts proposals.
How did we end up with Alex Verdugo and Connor Wong?
I don't know, man. I mean, um, Smith is more of a offense first catcher if you look at his Savant page.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I mean, Connor Wong was that for the first half of the season last year,
Hmm.
and then he fell off a cliff.
And has only recently stopped falling.
Well, we'll get to Chapman then with Connor Wong. I don't want to speak too
Yeah,
soon.
yeah. I wanna get your take on that whole that whole video that Buster Only put out about that. But we decided with this episode that outside of the Dustin May conversation to lead things off, that that we were going to start negative and end positive. So I think the biggest negative, obviously, is the fact that Roman Anthony is out for a minimum 4 to 6 weeks with an oblique injury. Um, I felt gut punched when I saw him reach for his back and
Mhm.
then immediately head down the steps.
With Marcelo following him closely.
Yeah, that I think if he had just gone, because what was it, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, when he fouled that ball off his foot and went down the steps, and they were
That
worried
sounds right.
about his ankle or something. He went down the steps alone. But you're exactly right. The fact that he went down the steps and Marcelo was like hot on his heels down the steps, yeah, that's when I got concerned.
I mean, I always worried about an oblique injury considering his, 75.1 mile per hour bat speed.
Yeah,
And we're seeing a lot of players with, yeah, high bat speeds suffer from oblique injuries. I
Adley Rushman
saw,
is having a second oblique injury right now.
his bat speed actually isn't that good.
I know that's what
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I wrote about this today. I think it goes up on the site tomorrow about how the Sox don't need to rush Roman back. Like, we're not in have to win a World Series territory right now. We are at the very beginning of the window, and I would rather save Roman or like save his back, let him come back in 4 to 6 weeks. But I talked about Adley because he started with a right oblique strain, came back
Mhm.
for a week, and then is now back on the IL with a left oblique strain because you're overcompensating for the right oblique strain. So I'm very worried. And I mean, Adley's a switch hitter, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's got something to do with it. When you're torquing like that on both sides of the plate. But I worry about Roman having another oblique injury if he tries to come back too soon.
Yeah, that's a concern. I mean, I don't have a, medical background, but I just
No.
yeah. I wonder, like, do they need to do more Russian twists when they're working out? Or I'm trying to think of, exercises that target
Right.
your obliques.
Do you
Are
think
there
he
ab
feels
machine
like he's
curls?
being shot or stabbed every time he swings a bat,
Oh,
a
no.
la
Oh,
Tristan Casas?
man. Yeah, and he has a high bat speed too.
Yeah, he was
I was
leading the league when he got hurt.
Yeah, I was looking at oblique injuries this year.
Hmm.
Gunnar Henderson had one at the beginning of the season.
Yep.
He's fine, or he's been fine, as
Yeah.
we saw when the Red Sox played the Orioles. Was it last
Hmm.
week? Yeah, last week.
Feels
And
forever ago.
like eons.
Yeah.
Nick Kurtz
Hmm.
just had one last week.
Yeah.
And he's a big dude, swings hard.
Yeah. I know they haven't announced the grade of the strain, but I've seen rumors on Twitter, and take it for what you will, that we're looking at a grade 2 strain. But then I've also seen that the recovery time between a grade 1 and a grade 2 is the exact same. It's 4 to 6 weeks no matter what, which doesn't
Hmm.
make a ton of sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like you, I have no medical background. I'm an English
Well,
teacher. Uh,
well, a medical degree from WebMD.
yeah. And everybody's got some terminal disease if that's what you're doing. But You always end up with lupus if you watch House. It was always lupus, and it was never lupus, except for the one time it was. But I'm so torn on what this means for the Red Sox for the rest of the season. You cannot replicate Roman Anthony. There is nobody on this team in the minors that can give you offensively what he was doing. I mean, there's mosquitoes like crazy in this house right now. So if you're watching the YouTube video, you may see me swat at one. But there's no way to replicate that. He's a 3-WAR player.
As a rookie.
Yeah. I had a good buddy of mine, a big baseball fan. We actually went to A's Cardinals together on Labor Day. He emailed me today and he goes, so just how bad is this injury for the Red Sox? And I said, it's not good. And I said the same thing. So there's no way to replicate him unless you go out and trade for Kyle Schwarber. Then you've got the power, at least, back in the lineup. The threat.
He's thumping hard right now.
He is, yeah. So maybe we can get him for cheap. But I mean, there's nobody. You can't call up the password again because he looked overmatched like crazy. Rob Refsnyder is who will trot out there pretty much every day, since I think the plan is for Willier to try to start running this weekend. It's so crazy that night of that Willier injury, he was like 2 to 3 days, and that was 2 weeks ago. And he can't run. But you have to wonder, like I said, like Refsnyder's going to be the person they trot out pretty much every day, which takes a left-handed masher off the bench for late game situations. You can't shift Rafaela over. That just doesn't make sense at all.
I think he could handle right field.
I think he could. I think he could. I
Yeah.
think that he's got the arm for it, but he's the best center fielder in the league.
Yeah, I haven't done a deep dive into Duran's stats, but he is better in center field than he is in left field, just from my eye test.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, and
I know early in the season when he played center, I think he committed like 3 errors in one game or over the span of like 2 or 3 games. And it's just, yes, Duran can play center. I would rather have Rafaela there. I would rather have a sure gloved. I mean, just look at the mistakes Duran's made this week in the field.
With him, it's a mental issue. I mean, he has the athleticism.
Absolutely,
and, to make these plays. It's just when, I don't know,
he has the athleticism to play right field in Fenway Park. He does not have the arm strength to play right field in Fenway Park is the problem.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. No. But considering his muscles, I'm kind of surprised he has a noodle of an arm.
Yeah, I mean, if you stand him and Willier Abreu side by side, and you're like, which one of these guys can throw just absolute laser beams from the corner of the right field in the air to third base? Who are you picking? Everybody's going to pick Duran, but it's Willier, you know?
Well, I just pulled up his Savant page. His arm strength is in the 73rd percentile, so it's not the worst. It's a little red, like maybe slightly darker, or like raw salmon.
It's pinkish.
Is that Alaskan salmon? Yeah.
Something tells me that Duran wouldn't like for anything of his to be described as pinkish, but
yeah, he's not comfortable in his masculinity like Harrison Bader, who just trots out every day in purple. Like, I love it.
Yeah, that's purple's my son's favorite color, and so our house has a lot of purple in it. But there's no answer internally for the problem outside of Rob Refsnyder. Offensively, there's no way to replicate what Roman brings to the table. And you have to put Duran realistically back in the leadoff spot, and he didn't do so well out of the leadoff spot. I know there for about 2.5 weeks after he was dropped to third in the lineup, he was raking, but that's gone ice cold now too. And so there's an argument I think to be made to move him further down in the lineup instead of up. But there's really no other
Bregman's
options.
slumping.
Big
That's
time.
yeah, that's the I know Brandon wrote that good write up on,
Yeah.
this cold stretch for Bregman. And I'm not too concerned about Bregman. I mean, he's been successful like basically every season he's played in the
Yeah.
majors. But I mean, it's hurting this team now as they try to make a postseason run, at least in the wild card. I mean, if they
I
play the Yankees, I think they will move past the wild card round.
yeah, I think so too. Um, but I think that to feel very comfortable about that, the Red Sox need the first wild card spot because you want to play those games at home because the Red Sox
Exactly.
are a different animal at Fenway Park than they are on the road. Um, so I'm not saying all hope is lost. I think the team makes the playoffs. Um, but because I think it's like a 90, even after the loss last night, it's like a 98% chance
Hmm.
to make the playoffs. Like it's still astronomically high. Um, they would have to go through a pretty bad run of games. Um, but I think I think had we talked Friday night, Saturday night, I would have said that outside of the Tigers, I don't see another AL team that I think could make it to the World Series that's not the Red Sox. And now I think there's a chance they don't make it out of the ALDS.
I agree. I think some of the cracks and weaknesses with the team are starting to show. Crochet is did he hit a career innings high for the season yet?
Yeah, he hit
Yeah.
that in like early August. And so he's setting a
Okay.
new high every start now.
Yeah, and you saw that with the Cleveland game.
Yeah,
That was against Cleveland, yeah, this week. It
yeah,
seems so long
because
ago.
like Brian Radicchio hit a massive tank job off of him.
Yeah.
Like Cleveland's one of the lightest hitting teams, and and I've seen people in comments and on other social media sites and stuff talk about how it looks like Crochet's ran out of gas, and I'm not there, at least not yet. Uh, every pitcher's going to have a bad start, and really up to this point, Crochet hasn't had one. He's had a couple of not great starts, but I would say this is by far the worst start he's had this year. Um, and he owned up to it. He's like, I wasn't spotting pitches. I think that the optics are even worse that it happened in the half inning immediately following Roman's injury. I think that makes it
Yeah.
look worse.
Morale was already down, then,
Yeah.
he blows the lead.
Yeah. And I'm not worried about Crochet. I think he's going to be fine. Um, we've got Bayo and Giolito. Um, I think they're going to be fine. Payton Tolle, who we'll get to in a little bit, because we're still in the negative part of the podcast right now. Payton Tolle looked great. I don't know what's going to happen with the fifth starter. Harrison's ankle is giving him problems. Dustin May gives up more home runs than everybody else on the team combined. So I don't know what that fifth starter. And luckily, when you get to the postseason, you only need three. You don't have to
Yeah.
have five, but getting to the postseason has to happen first. Um, and you just kind of touched on him, but Alex Bregman has been slumping for the past 2 weeks, and it came out today. We're recording on the 4th, Tuesday, that he is expected to test free agency at the end of this season. He's going to opt out and test free agency. Do you have what was your reaction when you saw that?
You know how Scott Boras is with his public negotiation
Yep.
tactics, and I think it's just, him trying to strong arm the Red Sox to at least work on a higher contract
Yeah.
sometime soon. And I mean, maybe he's using leverage with I'm trying to think of teams that, would be in the market for a third baseman next year. The Phillies, maybe. The Yankees obviously need a lot of infield help. Um, the Tigers even might have a shot depending on if they make it that far in the postseason.
Yeah. I'm very torn on this because while I would love to have Alex Bregman back, um, Jeff Passan is saying that he's expected to get 5 years, 35 million a season. And you can't pay 35 million a season for 5 years when at the end of that contract he's going to be 37. We're seeing what the downslope of Alex Bregman's career will look like right now in this slump. You can't pay that kind of money for that. At that point, yeah, let the Yankees go pay that. Let the Tigers go pay that and be eaten up with that contract probably after next season. To me, you put Marcelo at third base.
Bregman's defense hasn't been the best this year at times. He's made
It
some
has not, and
errors.
that was why he was supposed to be here.
Mhm. And, well, speaking of third baseman, did you see Rafael Devers made his first or made his, season debut at third,
At third
2 days
base
ago?
after Chapman got tossed for trying to punch what's his face from the Rockies.
Freeman. You know, I saw him, when I was in Colorado back in April. He just gives up a lot of home runs.
Yeah,
Devers was fine there. Like, he just was salty, like, "Okay, don't give up, like, 20 plus home runs in a season if you're
right.
gonna get
Don't give
mad."
up massive nuke jobs, and then everything will be fine. Um, I want Alex Bregman here. We've talked about that. I've written about it on the site that I think that they need to keep him here through the end of his career, not for $35 million a season
You
until he's
know,
37.
yeah, and he really isn't a power hitter, which is what this lineup needs more than
Yeah.
ever, or
Yeah.
yeah,
The lineup needs that.
now. So, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to him going to Philly than the Red Sox getting Kyle Schwarber.
I would do that. Absolutely.
I mean,
Excuse me.
another aging Scott Boras client whose defense is questionable would fit perfectly on their roster.
Yeah. And Schwarber would be welcomed back with open arms
Yeah,
in
and he
Boston.
would never touch the field as a Red Sox
No,
player,
no.
which is how
And
he should be utilized.
yeah. And it was a couple weeks ago when the press asked Cora, like, oh, Schwarber's going to be a free agent. Like, how interested are you? And he said, very.
A little
I
sly smile.
yeah, I think that we can all agree on the fact that Cora is the likely reason that Alex Bregman is on this team right now. Uh, I think that there is a definite possibility that Kyle Schwarber, should he end up on the Red Sox, will be thanks in large part to Alex Cora.
Cora has Riz.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how else to describe it. He's a very charismatic dude. Everybody raves about his, smooth talking skills. If you
I
read
think the
anything on
only
him.
I think the only person that I can think of off the top of my head that doesn't care for him is Walker Bueller. Bueller just never bought into the Red Sox way of thinking. And he's not making his debut for the Phillies until next week, I think.
Yeah, he has a start with Lehigh Valley, their AAA affiliate,
Yeah.
sometime soon.
I hope he gets lit up in the AAA start. Like I really want to see that.
Yeah,
Because I don't want to see him go to the Phillies and shove.
Yeah, I'm rooting. Well, no, not root. I don't. Not root. Not preying on his downfall. That's kind of mean. I mean, okay, maybe I am. I take it back.
Just quietly. You're
um,
just quietly
yeah,
praying on his downfall.
I was so annoyed when I saw the Phillies picked him up because I was just like, I can't like get rid of this dude.
Yeah. I thought he was like linked to the Yankees at one point right after the release, which I thought would be hilarious. Um, I mean, he gave up monster home runs to right field in Fenway. You put him with that little short porch in Yankee Stadium, man, people have a field day. He'd give up 10 homers a game.
Or they'd be like ripping out seats and throwing them onto the field if,
It would be
like,
it would be
he went to
terrible.
the Yankees.
Um, Although, and we'll get to the extension here in a minute, I think that there's a very funny situation where the Red Sox could continue to make the Yankees mad
Oh,
by taking one of their pitchers and putting him on the roster next year and fixing him
I
and having the best 1-2 punch in the eighth and ninth innings in the history of baseball.
I'm also on that train. I yeah, we'll get there then.
Yeah. But before we get there, we have to talk about Payton Tolle. He looked like he's been in the league for years
Well,
last Friday, both metaphorically and physically. He looks like he's 47.
yeah, I don't.
I
Is it
love
the
it.
mustache?
It has to be.
I I don't. And they do make guys look older.
And
I
it's a good
remember when
mustache, dude. It's a
you know,
like I like Romy's mustache. Toley's
but
is like a
no,
phenomenal. Yeah,
that's a man's mustache.
it
Romy's
is.
is like the little high school
Yeah.
kid
As
trying to grow
somebody
his
who
first
has
mustache.
had massive amounts of facial hair for more of my life than I haven't at this point, um, I wish I could grow Peyton Tully's mustache because if I could, then I would only have a mustache. That's how good it is.
Was it yeah, but after they drafted him and, the players come to Fenway, like, in the
Uh
fall, I saw a photo of him, and he had, like, a little, like, beard, and my first thought was, "How old is this, like, kid?"
huh.
Like, he looks like he's 50 or not 50, 40.
it, that's just a man's mustache, and it makes him look like he'd have played with Eck.
Like, 80s.
Yeah.
Wait, 80s, yeah, 80s.
Um, what he touched 99 on the gun with his four seamer. He hasn't done that ever.
Well, I was watching some old videos, of him pitching at TCU.
Yeah.
And he's always had that good form with the, hip shoulder
Hmm.
separation. And then that's a good indicator of throwing a higher velocity than,
Yeah.
currently shown.
It his secondary stuff obviously needs work,
For
but
sure.
he was drafted last year.
And yeah, now I mean, yeah, his fastball had a 37.5% whiff rate. I mean,
Yeah.
that alone is a good, basis for, a
Yes.
starter's repertoire.
Yeah. And then he's got the cutter. That cutter looks nasty. I thought that his quote when they were like, how are you feeling? He was like, coming off in the first inning, I couldn't feel my feet. Like, I love how open and honest he was about it. He's like, I was walking off after AC took the ball and I got emotional and I was holding back tears. Like, I think that's something that baseball lacks is an opportunity for these athletes who are, they're idolized. Like, there's no other way to put it. They're idolized. But for him to be like, yeah, I almost cried. Like, I think that's just so cool for him to be that open about it. And I mean, that conversation, obviously it starts before this, but like, we've crapped on Jaron Duran, we've praised Jaron Duran, but for him to be as open and honest about his like mental health struggles is phenomenal. And now you've got Tolle, who was like, this was the coolest moment of my life. And it was so meaningful that it was here in Boston at Fenway that I got emotional coming off the field. And then you go on to learn that, of course, his family is there, but his mom passed away, and the Red Sox saved her a seat with a bouquet of flowers on it. And he didn't know about that at the time. He didn't know about that till after the game. And just first, what a move by the organization! Like, that is just
Very classy move.
yeah. Um, for as much crap as the organization gets from time to time, like, I don't think that I've heard of another organization this season doing anything like that. And also, we have to assume that last year when Mickey Gasper was trying to get his first hit, the Red Sox paid for his family to live at the stadium.
Yeah.
They were on TV every game.
So at that point, I just was like, please let him get his first hit. My God,
they have to have
his
jobs.
poor family. Well, and also every time he stepped in the batter's box, oh, he's a local kid.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
This is our 10th time hearing it. We get it.
Right. This is no longer news. But I thought his performance was incredible. I was very angry at Greg Weissert for blowing his win. To immediately come on. I don't get on Cora a lot. Tolle probably shouldn't have come back out for the 6th. He probably should have been done after 5. But the kid was hot. Try it, see what happens. Maybe after that first walk is when you pull him. With at least without a man in scoring position. But he's pitching Saturday, 6 days rest, because he's never thrown on 4 days rest in his life. Which
they shouldn't rush that.
Yeah. I imagine that we will see him kind of capped at probably 5 innings, 70 pitches. And that number will probably tick down throughout the remainder of the season as he prepares for life in the bullpen come playoff time. But I mean, if he's the future to go along with Crochet, Bayo, and maybe even Giolito next year, that's a solid 1 through 4. That's a phenomenal 1 through 4.
I don't want to speak too soon, but if he keeps pitching well in September, extend him. If Bregman doesn't want to stay here,
I think so. Yeah,
use that money for Tolle.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure you saw it too. There were people who, after his first strikeout, were like, "All right, Craig, open the checkbook." Like, no, not yet. But if we see, and I mean, he's gonna get roughed up. That's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
He's a rookie pitcher, but if he handles it well and he bounces back, yeah, keep him here. You don't have to give him the Crochet-esque deal. I'm sure he would sign for probably less than Brian Bayo signed for. I think that it's a conversation that you have to have. And then if they can go out and trade for a Joe Ryan. I was all aboard the Framber Valdez train until he crossed up his catcher on purpose.
Oh my gosh.
I really don't like that.
I've jumped off that train.
Yeah, and they can say all they want to that it wasn't on purpose, but for him to show absolutely no remorse after hitting his catcher in the sternum with a 93-mile-an-hour sinker, that was on purpose.
And you don't want that kind of guy in your clubhouse. I wouldn't want Narvaez or Wong to be, hit with a 90+ mile per hour pitch.
Right. Especially because it's the grand slam that preceded it was his fault.
The catcher told him to
the catcher
pitch
was telling
something
him to step off. Yeah. And then he decided to throw what he wanted to throw anyway, and he got taken deep. And so he nails his catcher.
And that's
luckily
on you,
he doesn't
buddy.
play for us this season, so it's
yeah. Don't
Don't
get mad at somebody for your own mistake. Own up to it and move on.
That, like you said, it's just, you can't have that in the clubhouse. Like this team is such a tight knit group that I think bringing in a personality like that would be incredibly detrimental. Although
And also, he's
I
a
probably
lefty
would have said
too.
the same thing about Aroldis Chapman. Yeah,
Well, yeah, that would be like 3 lefties in the rotation with, Tolle, assuming he should have a spot next year.
right.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, and I mean you can go with two, and if you've got three absolute dominant lefties, you can maybe make that case. But
well, the Phillies have that right
two, I think,
now.
is where I'd want to cap
Yeah, but even then, their rotation's kind of. I mean, I'm on the Aaron Nola fraud watch.
it. I love
I
that.
none of my Phillies fans friends, my friends who are Phillies fans believe me when I said that contract is gonna turn out
hmm
terribly, and now it is. So
They they should have hoped that he actually signed with Cardinals, as was the other rumor.
I heard the Braves also made a big offer for him, but I
hmm
mean, maybe he would have turned into an ace there. I mean,
Right.
but
Yeah, the last thing on the docket is the Red Sox have extended Aroldis Chapman. Um, the same reliever that when he was signed, this very podcast was unhappy about.
yeah, I mean, things can change throughout the
Yeah,
course of a season.
I still don't care for him as a person. Um, but as it says there on the right hand side, if you're watching the video, he is the best reliever in baseball and will likely garner some Cy Young votes.
Yeah. Uh, well, isn't there now a special award for relievers?
There is, yes. I still think that he'll get a handful of Cy Young votes, though. Um, Obviously, he's not going to win it. Um, After the 7-run meltdown that Crochet had against the guards, it's really Scooble's to lose at this point. Uh, Now, I'm not saying that's impossible, but um, it's insane. I've got Chapman's numbers pulled up here. Um, Over 54 innings, he has a 39.1% strikeout rate, a 7.1% walk rate, a 38.1% ground ball rate, and a 1 flat ERA.
1.00. That's just crazy to say out loud, read, comprehend.
It, like, he's 37.
I He's aged like fine wine with the Red Sox. He wasn't putting up these numbers last year with the Pirates. Yeah, the Pirates.
Yeah, he, like, once, because Bednar started blowing saves and um, they moved Chapman back to the closer role, and he played well um, in the closer role. But I don't think any of us expected this. I don't think anybody, even
Yeah.
even the front office. It's incredible. I'm looking here. I'm scrolling through the Slack channel because we were talking about him recently. Um, what is it like? He's gone the last 30 days and hasn't given up a hit. No earned runs. Like it's just, and it's all because of Connor Wong.
For those of you who don't know, Buster Olney, posted this video, I think on YouTube, or probably on other social media platforms too, where he said Connor Wong started telling him to locate his pitches. So then that's what made Chapman unlock this new gear in 2025 and he placed the uh, you know, light bulb in Connor Wong's or he gave credit to Connor Wong for unlocking this new gear with Chapman.
You can't convince me that in the 14 years of professional baseball that Aroldis Chapman has played, that no catcher has been like, why don't you throw that on the inside, bud?
That either Connor Wong is like a Mensa level defensive genius secretly, or only like I don't know is like
Grasping at straws.
grasping at straws. Maybe dealing with some mental lapse. I don't know.
It,
He.
I've always liked Buster Olney.
Mhm.
This took him down notches in my view. It feels like just a drummed up story to garner clicks. I don't know why Buster seems to love Connor Wong. That it doesn't make any sense.
Well, we talked about this the last episode. He made that outlandish proposal for with the one
Oh
for
yeah,
one. Tolle for low. So maybe he
yeah.
just wants to troll the Red Sox this year.
Maybe that's it. He's annoyed that they're good.
Is
I
he a Blue Jays executive?
I don't know
Or am I
off the
thinking
top
of
of my
somebody
head.
else?
He strikes me as a Canadian baseball fan.
Or maybe that's Bowden. I might be mixing them
That's
up.
Bowden. That's
Yeah.
Bowden. I have Canadian family, so it's okay. But yeah, that was Bowden. Bowden was the former GM. Yeah, and Bowden's takes are ridiculous too. They're
Most
good
sports
for a
writers
laugh.
are nowadays. They just, want to generate clicks and,
Yeah.
those get more views, but
Mhm.
it's not, well fleshed or thought out.
There's still a handful that I think
Well, Passan will
pretty
always be
solid.
the
Yeah,
top tier and then
yeah.
kind of falls off from there.
I still really like Sean McAdam, even though Sean has turned into a curmudgeon. Really,
Oh
this
yeah,
season.
McAdam's good.
I know that you're not a big fan of Cotillo.
I he just sounds like he has a frog in his throat. I can't
I
listen to the Fenway Rundown because of that. I
I
don't want
have
to sound mean.
so I hesitate to call him a friend, but I know somebody who knows Cotillo, and so like part of me has wanted to work that angle um, to try to get him on the pod, just especially for you.
No. And just out. Also, his profile photo on Twitter annoys me. I'm gonna like list everything that annoys me about Cotillo now. It's like it's a photo of Trevor's story. He's the primary subject, and like Cotillo's just lurking in the
Just
background. And
in the
every time,
background.
no, just literally just like standing there, or no, not standing there, sitting on the bench in the dugout. And every
Yeah.
time, well, I have him muted now. Sorry, Chris Cotillo. But every time I like would see his profile come up, I'd be thinking, why the heck is Trevor's story tweeting about somebody's injury? And then I realized, oh, it's
Oh, it's Chris
Cotillo.
Cotillo.
And yeah, and then I muted him because he just kept bothering me.
I love that. I love that so much.
So yeah, that's my beef with Chris Cotillo. I'm sorry if you're
Okay.
listening, buddy.
He is for sure. Chris Cotillo loves Talk Sox. Um, but you know, yeah, I outside of McAdam and occasionally Cotillo, I pretty much avoid most of Boston sports media at this point.
um, Steve Buckley can be a
I like
little.
Buck. I
Yeah,
like
I
Buck.
like
I forget
Buckley.
about Buck. Yes.
Jen. I love Jen McCaffrey. She is
Yes.
so good. She needs to come on the Nesson broadcast more. Like
I
I
always
could just
find
listen to her all
her
day.
Yeah, I always find her appearances on there so interesting because,
Mhm.
like, especially when they have Jemai talk to her, because you've got like ultra cool guy Jemai who's like, "So, Jen, tell me about these things that you just heard about the Red Sox," and she's like, "The Red Sox are going through it, Jemai."
Like very serious and articulate.
Yeah. If Jemai was a sports writer, I would read everything that man wrote. We
Oh,
talk about we
yeah.
talk about Jemiah more than we probably should, but but Jemiah is such a cool guy. I hope that I hope that he continues to grow with Nesson, and that he becomes a fixture for Nesson, because I would hate to lose him to a different team.
I might have to rethink my fandom if Nesson lets Jemiah walk.
Well, was it Fleming that was offered the White Sox head broadcast position going into this season? It was either Fleming or Middlebrooks. I think it was
Hmm,
Fleming, and he ended
hmm.
up turning him down,
Well, that's
or he was
reassuring.
one of like the last two or something. But there was like some real smoke that the Red Sox were going to lose Fleming, and now the Will and Will, or the Will Squared booth on the radio, is the best thing in baseball.
Middlebrooks has grown on me. I like him more in
I
the
like
booth than
Middlebrooks.
yeah, more than, when he's actually on the Nesson broadcast.
Yeah, the pre and post. Yeah,
Mhm. Or
I
just,
think.
I'm doing in-game coverage on, like, filling in
Oh
for
yeah,
Lou. Yeah.
yeah. Um, I think that I like the Will booth. I think that if when you get both Wills with Lou, that
Oh,
is like that's the best booth in maybe the history of baseball.
that's like the holy trinity.
Yeah.
Like, no,
What,
yeah, their
what was
chemistry is just amazing.
what was it? I forget it. I forget what the play was. Um, but Will was on the radio, and Fleming's just talking, and Lou's like, "Oh yeah, this is probably about to happen." And I think it was a Crochet start, and Crochet just throws gas by this guy, and all you hear is Lou in the background go, "Nope." It reminds me, Will or Lou's little quips like that remind me so much of Eck. Like anytime anybody would homer off a big name pitcher, Eck would go, "Got him."
Yeah.
And I mean, I loved Eck. I thought Eck was great. Obviously, the Don and Remy
Oh, yeah.
booth. Like, although I'll say, and this is a hot take, um, I think Don has taken a step back this year.
Hmm.
I've watched
Hmm.
some Padres series, and he's still good, but and I think OB has done phenomenal this year
He
for
kind of
OB.
glazes. Yeah, he still glazes the opposing team a little too much for my taste.
Yes, but at least he's getting up for big Red Sox moments now, and he's not calling
That's
it like a
true.
national broadcaster.
Yeah, no, his the past couple of home run calls have been really good, especially that
Anytime.
Duran inside the park home run
Oh yeah, that
Sunday
was
was
phenomenal.
great.
And anytime Sadon does anything to tie the game, break a tie, put the Red Sox ahead, OB goes nuts. Um, I have been positively impressed by Dave O'Brien this year. And as somebody who has not cared for OB for quite some time, that's a big step forward.
Well, maybe Orsillo's issue with the Padres is that their team is kind of slumping right now. I mean,
Yeah.
Tatis Jr. isn't hasn't, really had a good season. Uh,
Bogey broke his foot.
oh yeah, Bogey's injured now. Merrill's,
Machado
dealing with a
sucks.
sophomore slump. Yeah. I'm trying to think
Yu
who else.
Darvish is not good.
I
And
love
I
you,
hate that.
Darvish.
I know. I wanted him to come to the Sox so bad. And
Yep.
I had a chance to see him. I think it was his second start back in St. Louis earlier this season. I was so stoked. I sent you guys pictures of him like warming up in the outfield and everything, and he has not looked good.
Pavetta's
Yeah.
been really solid for them.
Yes. Yeah. That's such a pitcher friendly park though.
It's true, and he kind of needed a change of scenery. I think, his time in Boston was complete when he signed with the Padres. He's closer to his
Yeah.
family. He's from the western side of Canada, so there's
Canada.
that for him. Canada, close enough.
And I mean, not that I'm equating him to Chris Sale, but I think it's a very similar thing to Chris Sale. Had Sale stayed in Boston, I don't think that Sale has last season. Had
Mhm.
Pivetta stayed in Boston, I don't think that Pivetta pitches like he has this season. It's just kind
Also,
of you've got to get out of situations sometimes.
yeah, and, look at what Nate Lowe has
Yeah,
done for the Red Sox
I
since
would hate
leaving,
playing for the Nationals too.
yeah, right now, yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of things going on with that org.
Yeah.
Um, they just need leadership, like, from the top to the bottom,
Uh-huh.
but it was speaking of Nick Pavetta, apparently, my buddy listens to Section 10, and he told me that Nick Pavetta was the guy who told Casas to stop
Yes.
sunbathing without his shirt on or off.
Yep. That
Which
was 2 or 3 episodes ago. That's one of my favorite things about Section 10 is they're like, oh, I think this is out. Pavetta's the guy who hated Casas. And it's like, no, I haven't seen that.
ah, it was yeah, but there were 3 candidates, Evaldi, Sale, or Pavetta, and I
Yes.
wasn't expecting Pavetta to be the dude, but
Yeah, I think that did surprise me a little bit. But then kind of looking back on his attitude and around the time that came out was around the whole like I'm not a reliever, I'm a starter thing.
mhm.
So I think maybe it was just like spilling over. But yeah, when that came out, I was like, huh. So maybe we all like they all knew he wasn't long for the Red Sox.
Yeah, and I misdirected some of my hate towards, Nathan Evaldi, who is innocent.
Maybe you can never
Yeah.
tell. He looks like he might have said something.
Oh, no, he has those big puppy dog eyes. I don't think he could yell at anybody if he wanted
He's out for
to.
the season too, isn't he?
Didn't he get an appendectomy? Was that him? Somebody on the Rangers got one. Uh,
I'm almost positive that he's out for the season. Yeah, rotator cuff strain. Yeah.
okay. Okay, that's not an appendectomy, but
No,
not
it's the opposite side of the body.
somebody on the Rangers got one, though. Corey
That's how
Seager.
here. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm also fielder, not a pitcher, but anyway.
Close enough. Plays on the dirt.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I pulled up Fangraphs. Chapman has not given up a hit since July 23rd,
wow.
or an earned run. Yeah, oh yeah, he gave up that homer.
Yeah.
That's just crazy to think about.
He's 37.
You know, I'm happy that he got the extension because it locks up the closer role for next year.
Mhm.
In a well, Suarez from the Padres, I think, is a free agent. Huh.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, they have Mason Miller now. I don't know where Suarez will go,
Yeah, I
but
don't really know
and
either.
13.3 million 1 year. I mean, he definitely could have gotten more money in free agency, and
Absolutely.
he wanted to stay in Boston. So I mean that's a good sign. And I pulled up an article from I think December 2024 after the Red Sox signed him, where he said that he went to therapy too,
Okay.
or he started going to therapy after the 2016 domestic violence
Mhm.
suspension. And so, I mean, he's trying to work on himself. I have to give him credit for that
I can
there.
applaud that for sure.
And there was that other quote where the Red Sox vetted him, and they thought he was suitable to fit in with the
Yeah.
clubhouse.
Which
But
he said in his press conference
mm,
after the extension that apparently the Red Sox talked to him before last season, but he had already committed to the Pirates or had verbally committed to the Pirates or something.
mhm.
Um, and so he felt that he couldn't go back on that, which is potentially why the Red Sox, he didn't play for the Red Sox last year.
Hmm.
Which I think is interesting because Kinley was still under contract last year.
Well, you, I'm surprised they didn't try to trade Kenley at the 2024 deadline.
Yeah.
And after he left early last season, it kind of put I left a sour
Yeah,
taste in my mouth.
agreed. I have no idea how he's doing with the Angels, nor do I really care. Um, I wrote about how the extension is a gamble, and I think it was misconstrued a little bit. Like the money that it costs is not that big of a deal. It's more so that you're paying like he's going to be 38 next year, and he's still throwing 100, and he's never had a major elbow issue. Um, I
Knock
think it's
on
a
wood.
gamble. Yes, I think it's a gamble to have an age 38 closer. That was my take on it.
Yeah.
That throws like that. If he was a Greg Maddux type, sure, whatever. But if I mean, he's ran it up to 101, 102 this season.
No, it wasn't Maddox. I think in Passan's book, The Arm,
Uh-huh.
Randy Johnson apparently doesn't have a UCL.
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, maybe Chapman is a genetic anomaly.
maybe. And I'm not hoping that he gets injured, but that's my gamble is, like, man, that's that's a lot of eggs in a 38-year-old basket.
That and also, could this season just be a fluke for him?
Right. And that was kind of my thing when I was pretty heavy on trading him, is even if he like finishes out the season doing what he's doing, like, is it repeatable? Who knows?
We'll see. I mean, I still think Garrett Whitlock could be a closer.
Yeah, oh,
And
absolutely.
yeah, I would like to see him in that role sometime. While he's still with the team.
Yeah. Which he's under contract for 2 more seasons, 3 more
I think through
seasons,
2027.
if there's a season
Uh,
in 2027.
oh, yeah.
But we're not going to talk about that. That's 2 years away.
Yeah, and maybe we'll have 32 teams by then.
Manfred wants it by 29 for sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm not throwing gasoline on that fire. I don't claim.
No,
Yeah,
that's an
yeah.
off-season discussion. Um, I guess that pretty much wraps up everything that we need to hit on for this episode. Are you working on anything for the site right now?
Yeah, I just submitted something on picture vertical approach angle.
Okay. Your
So,
articles that like delve into that kind of stuff are some of my favorite that are on the site. So I'm really looking forward to that getting posted.
thank you. Are you working on anything new?
Yeah, so I submitted the hot button issue. It went up live this morning about how Christian Campbell should be
Ooh,
not called up until next year.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
and
that was good.
I got the comments that you would expect from
Oh,
people.
but you're not. No, I wholeheartedly agree. I was reading that
Most sane people
over
do,
lunch.
Maddie.
Yeah, no, but it's like he's such like he also like emotionally. I mean, I'm not saying like he's soft, but you need to be not like gentle. I don't know. Trying to think of
Yeah,
the correct word, but you don't like shove him into something he's not comfortable with. He's
he
tweaking
has
his
nowhere to
sweet
play.
swing. Yeah,
He has
and
nowhere to
that
play.
too. I
Like,
first no, they have Nate Lowe now.
he's not
I,
a second baseman.
yeah, well, uh, and yeah, outfield he needs a little. He needs to. He would need more time to develop there in the
I mean,
minors.
I've got a crazy thought. Like, I
Yeah.
think you put him in left, you keep Roman in right, and you trade Duran and Willier this offseason. And I think that is where Christian Campbell should be playing. Do you trade Jaron Duran or Willier Abreu to make room for Christian Campbell right now? No.
Well, yeah, not now, but you know,
What a thought, huh?
no, yeah, I can get on board with that. Yeah,
It's not crazy.
I, I mean, both of them. Well, no, both of them need to be platoon though for lefties. I mean, separate teams in a trade.
I mean, we could send
No.
to the same team. I don't care.
I mean, the twins.
Yeah, for Joe
for
Ryan. Um, So that's my solution for Christian Campbell is to trade the outfield. Um,
Yeah.
but I today this morning I submitted a piece, and I talked about it earlier about why the Red Sox don't need to rush Roman Anthony back. And then, in light of the Alex Bregman news, I'm working on a piece about kind of why the Red Sox probably don't need to pay what the speculated going rate is and who internally could be penciled in to replace him at the hot corner.
I'm looking forward to reading those both. I'm sure people will respond very, very rationally in the
Yes. Yeah.
comments.
Yeah. My pieces tend to get the rational comments. Uh, I will say my piece on the Chapman extension being a gamble is still like getting new comments, and it's been published for like 5 days. So I
Keep them
love that.
coming.
Yeah, I love that. And even like I've talked about this, like school has started for me, so like I'm not able to engage like I had been over the summer. But no, like I mean, I pop in on all the articles and I read every comment that is there, and I like the ones I agree with and laugh, react at the ones that I think are stupid. Um, it's a little solace for me. Um, and then sometimes I talk about them in class, and my students make fun of people who comment on them. So
Whoa, oh
I will
no.
say, and I don't know if Ryan listens to this. A good buddy of mine who's a teacher at the junior high here, he said that last year in his journalism class, and I should probably say this in the actual Slack channel too, um, because of me, they started using our articles on Talk Sox as a way to model how like journalism is changing to like from like the print media to an online platform, like how it's changed throughout the years and how a website like Talk Sox is able to, give us unknown sports fans, unknown writers a platform and an opportunity to voice our opinions and to grow as writers and to, make a however small footing for ourselves we are making in this really big world of Red Sox baseball.
That's
Um,
so cool.
yeah, and so Ryan, if you're listening, like I just think I just think that's really cool, and I don't know why it hadn't occurred to me to share that until right now, but maybe it's because we're like just over a year that we've kind of all been at this, and we've just seen like how much this site has grown, and Brock and everything he's done for the site shared like how much the site has grown in like the Google searches and everything a couple days ago, and I decided to do some clicking around and like I Googled Alex Bregman, and Brandon's article was like the third thing that popped up on the Google first page. And I Googled Christian Campbell opt out, and my article was on the first page. Like that's so cool. And without Brock and Brandon and Davey, who's working for Fangraphs now, like and Diamond Centric as a whole, just without them taking this chance on all of us, like none of this podcast wouldn't be here right now. It's just so cool that we have this small slice of this Red Sox universe now. And I just think it still blows my mind that we're involved with that.
Last episode was the 1 year anniversary of Diamond Centric, and I forgot to wish it a happy birthday. So now,
Yeah.
happy
So here it is.
belated
Belated
Talk Sox.
birthday. Yes. Yeah. Um,
Um, but yeah, like
it's just so
you
cool.
said, yeah, it's a lot of media sources today. I mean, sports media isn't excluded from this; has their own agenda that they want to push.
Mhm.
However, I don't think the Globe is trying to push a pro Red Sox agenda. I don't. I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid because Dan Shaughnessy is still employed by
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
newspaper.
As long as Shaughnessy is there, that's not the case.
And independent journalism is great, and I love reading, uh, normal fans' opinions of things and
Yeah.
what they think. And Talk Sox is a great, part of the internet to be on. And yeah, just happy to see where everything is going with the website. And it's made so much progress in only a year, and it can only go
Yeah,
up.
I'm very excited to see like where we are a year from now, 2 years in, and um, I was thinking about this in the lead up to recording. Like, man, it's really awesome that we decided to start this podcast over the off season headed into this season, because hopefully for our first year as a podcast, we're going to get a playoff run. Like, and that's awesome. That's really cool. And last year, I don't think that we would have thought that. And that'll give us more stuff to work with and more things to talk about. Even if the Sox get blown out in the playoffs, which obviously I hope doesn't happen. It's so cool that we have this platform.
Definitely working on getting some guests in the off season when things settle down.
I've sent some
Yeah.
feelers out. I'm trying to get friend of the podcast, David Sandlin. I refuse to pay for verification on Twitter, so I can't message him. But but I'm
That's fair.
yeah, I'm not giving Elon my money. But I'm researching alternate ways in which to contact some of these guys, and you're gonna see, just how big of a name we can pull for the small little podcast that we are. So legitimately, like, thank you all for listening. We're 20. I think this is 22 episodes. That's nuts. That's crazy that people are listening to us talk about the Red Sox for 22 episodes. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for commenting on everything and interacting, even the comments that we disagree with. Like, thank you for being there. You are the reason this community continues to grow.
And any feedback is good, positive or negative, because it helps us, reflect upon what we need to improve on, and maybe we missed something.
And I really want to do like a mailbag type episode sometime over the off season. So if you're listening to this, like, start thinking of some questions. Like, I think that's a really cool idea. And I can't speak for Maddie, but I think that both of us would enjoy that kind of an episode where we just answer some questions from some of you all and get to know you guys a little better, and you guys get to know us a little better. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts for listening to the Talk Sox podcast, and we will catch you guys next week.
Have a good weekend.